doing that. I got food all in my teeth, and I thought I had my flossies in here, but that's some of my gym bag. I don't have my gym bag, and I don't know. I thought I had a pack or two in here, but I don't. Listen, fraudulent lives, y'all. Fraudulent lives. Okay, people be living fraudulent lives out this motherfucker. And I think it's so weird because social media can help you to do something like that. And then you have people who, these days, this generation, not even just this generation, but just people in general these days, they tend to meet someone, hook up with them, and you don't know shit about them. Okay? I have had enough experiences in Georgia of meeting someone, checking them out, and it turns out that, it's a terrible story. Stay away, To know that you have to vet people and take your time and be careful, uh, especially when people share so much on social media. It's okay to be protective of yourself. If you're not protective of yourself, there's no telling what can happen to you. Okay? I know a guy. Met him on a job. And he is living a fraudulent life, let me tell you. This guy is so fraudulent that I hope to hell he sees this video. This guy is a complete addict. Okay? A complete addict. But he pretends as if though, when you meet someone and you have limited amount of experiences with them, just like in crime, okay, true crime, when you have people who commit crimes. I got a story that I've been doing some research on that I'm gonna post a video on it coming up this week. And I watched them interview this man's co-workers. Greetings, Hamlin. Hi. I watched them interview this man's co-workers, and they were just like, one guy, he was like, he worked with them very closely for like 3 years, and it'd be just them two at night at the type of work that they did. And he was like, oh, I defended him so much. I defended this man so much, when the sheriffs were coming around saying, he's our suspect, because like that's nothing in his personality. Then you have like, he had two girlfriends who didn't know about each other, and they were like, that's nothing in his personality. And if you watch his 2 to 4 hour long interrogation, you would even see that this guy, he's well spoken, he carries himself away, he wears suits, he's involved in this, involved in that. And just people just don't think that, these people can do things. But it is very easy for a person to be manipulative and to create, a different type of person than who they really, really are. I'm trying not to say too much about this case because I really want to narrate the story and let you guys know. But I just found it interesting how this guy's co-workers were like, hey, there's no way. There's no way. And it's a part of me that can truly believe that there's a lot of people in this community that would say the same thing about this co-worker that I know. That is just pathetic. This dude is reckless. He has an addiction. His own mother and I did a what do you call it? Intervention with him. We did an intervention with this dude, and he is older than me, y'all. He's in his 50s, and he sat there and he portrayed it. It was like we were talking to a teenager. Completely. And I mean, just last night, I almost put this nigga in jail. I almost put this nigga in jail because I wanted to prevent him from going out there and killing somebody. That's how reckless he is. But I said, you know what? I'm not even, at the end of the day, he's gotta, because when somebody like that, the only thing they're gonna do is they're gonna blame you. They're gonna turn around and say, oh, Akasha did this to me, Akasha did this to me. No, 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 no. You're gonna bust your ass on your own. And sometimes even still then, this person will try and find a way to blame other people and make it not about them holding accountability for what they've done and making a change. People live fraudulent lives, y'all. Lives like you wouldn't believe. Okay? They will be with you, whatever type of relationship you have, and they will turn around and be a whole nother person. Especially nowadays, when people don't have but that much heart. You gotta be careful and don't fall for what you see, especially on social media. I know this guy. I know this guy's mom. I know his children. I know his whole situation. He has a fucked up home situation and he is a miserable person. Okay? He is super depressing. I have to block the shit out of his ass all the time. Talking to him is like I have a better time disciplining my dog than talking to this dude. Literally last night, this guy calls me and he is upset. Him and his mom got into it, and over something which is I already know the dumb shit that this dude wants to do, right? And he's fussing, he's mad at his mom, and he's fussing, he's yelling, and he's carrying on, and he's already drunk. If you're drunk, don't call nobody, don't text nobody, don't go nowhere, just keep that to yourself, right? This guy is sloppy drunk, upset, irrational, and he's like, come over here, I'm gonna light up the fire pit. And I'm like, it's too hot to light up the fire pit. Like, why are you gonna, no, I don't want to come over there. I don't like you when you're like this. I don't want to be around a drunk person, right? But me in my mind, I already know. If he's not being held still, he's gonna get out here in these streets. Now, that's fine. But it's not if you're gonna drive. So he turns around and he says, well, I'm about to go to this bar. You don't need to be going anywhere. 2 months. Barely he lasted 2 months trying to stay out of trouble, if you will. And he's like, no, I need to get out of this house. I've been going to work and coming home for the past 2 months. You're a fucking adult. That's what we do. Go to work, come home. Go to work, come home. Oh, I got a party, and my mom, and this and that, and his mom, and my mom. Okay, we'll take an Uber. No, I'm not going to take an Uber. It's only 5 minutes away. This is the dumb shit that he says. And when I say get drunk, when I say this dude gets drunk, you know how there's some people who don't know how to drink responsibly? He doesn't know how to drink responsibly. He is a fucking alcoholic. He gets shit-faced in public, uncontrollable, and they able and abet this dude by continuing to give him drinks, and then he drives the fuck home. And I told him, the next time I catch your ass, I'm gonna call the cops on you. I drive good when I'm drunk. It's not that far away. I'm not gonna drink that much. Nigga, you already drunk right now. But you're talking about driving to the bar and get more shit-faced. At least take an Uber. No, he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to do that. And my thing is, no matter how long he's been doing this guy's in his 50s, his mom is 80 years old, and she's been dealing with his shit 30 years. No matter how many times he's been doing this, getting away with it, failing at life, messing things up, it's going to be one day that he's going to think he got it all together. He's going to be one day where he's going to be sloppy drunk, and he's going to try to drive, and he's going to crash. And there's going to be somebody innocent on the road that's likely going to have to suffer from that. Yes, I'm in my swimwear, y'all. I've been at the pool. Okay. And it's like, there is nothing you can do when a person is an addict, or a person has a problem, when a person is living a fraudulent life, and they give themselves all the excuses in the world, and they have anybody in their lives that aid and like enable them. It's nothing you can do, nothing you can say, no type of rationale whatsoever, none. And here's what's worse: his son in his 20s, who he had by a white woman, is now back in jail. His son is bipolar. His son got just as many problems as his dad does, if not more. His son is bipolar. His son keeps collecting guns. His son wants to be a mass shooter. That's all he talks about. It's only a matter of time before he carries it out. And when I asked this guy, why don't you and your ex-wife, why y'all don't turn his ass in? Oh, he doesn't want, he's going to resent us. Who cares? Who cares? But his answer to his son going to jail again is to find an excuse to get shit-faced and be out in the streets, driving around while you're shit-faced. What? But don't go to his Facebook. Don't go to his Facebook. He's involved in things in this community and with people that he should not be involved in. He should not be representative of these organizations. And posts all day as if he got his shit together and he is the most dysfunctional motherfucker I have met at that age in my entire life. Reckless, dangerous. I have not told y'all half the shit. People live fraudulent lives. I just saw a post that blew me away on his Facebook. And I'm like, just literally today, you are being just totally retarded and dysfunctional, sickening. But when you only have to be around people for a small amount of time and you want them to look at you a certain way, you want to present a certain type of person that you would like to be in real life, but you know you just can't, it's easy to uphold that. It is. I see enough cases where these sick motherfuckers who go out here, and there's so many cases where they kill the women that they're with. They do all kind of fucked up shit because these women do not properly vet these guys. And I know people say, well, he seemed like a nice guy. You know, I've been around his family, I've seen his friends, I know him very well, but you did not take your time. You did not do your research. You ignored all those red flags. And they are there for a reason, because these motherfuckers out here be crazy, trust me. And they be living fraudulent lives. And the guy I'm talking about is just an example. And this is someone I met at a job. This is a co-worker whom his poor mother, that's one thing. I mean, fraudulent as hell. Posting his grandbaby all the time, saying all this shit when he didn't even get to go to his daughter's wedding because they don't fuck with him. Just portraying an image when he is A person that doesn't even deserve to walk the damn streets because of the shit how messed up he is in the head, how loose his screws is, and the decisions that he makes. It's not gonna end well. It's not gonna end well. I am not saying half the shit I know, and it's not gonna end well with his son either. Not gonna end well. But my problem also lies in other people who also see the red flags and don't do anything about it. The people who keep letting that little crazy boy out of jail, just the same way they keep letting all these other guys out of jail who are repeated offenders of different types of crimes, and then they end up taking one or more lives, and they should have been held. It's ridiculous. It is. There's so much I want to say, but I'm not going to say. But y'all need to be careful and keep in mind that you have to love yourself, and you have to be okay with yourself. You have to be okay with being by yourself enough to get that. Just because somebody want to be around you or partake of you, befriend you, hang out with you, you still have to keep yourself open so that you can be aware and you can really gauge this person and feel their energy and see what's going on and trust your intuition and care more about protecting yourself and your energy and your life than you care about just going out and doing what. You have to protect yourself from people nowadays, because most people out here ain't up to no good, I'm trying to tell you. And they live in fraudulent lives. They know how to perpetrate. It's getting dark, ain't it? Let me take my shades off. They know how to perpetrate that fraud. Y'all better be careful. But I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to post a story about a guy who lived a fraudulent life. And he carried himself a certain way. And he spoke a certain way. And he had people in his community and people in his life and people that he knew not even knowing what he was up to. Even when you meet guys, and let's say you fact check them and you find out they have a past. Okay, we all have a past, but I'm talking about a criminal past, a evil past. And they give you their version of what happens. Yeah, we want to be fair. We want to say, oh, we're going to, give this person the benefit of the doubt, and, everybody can't be perfect and all that. I don't deal with people who have a criminal history. Call it what you want, that's just me. Okay? I don't got nothing to do with you. I don't care what your side of the story is. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. Because I know all too well. You can look up specifics of that case file, but you might not even be able to do that in some cases. Maybe it's the protection of the victims or what have you. And you will be surprised that what they told you is not so. Let's say, for instance, this person is a sex offender. I don't care what you tell me. If they convicted you of that shit, I'm good. Especially when it's a minor, right? Okay. There are women out here who are getting involved. Greetings. They are getting involved with these guys, and they have heinous past, and they don't even know about it. Or they know about it, but they overlook it. Know about it and still have them in their home with their children, and then turn around and have babies with them. And the story I'm gonna post, that's just gonna be the start of the stories, guys. This woman met this guy, and he was a two-time convicted, long-term, 15 plus years in prison, sex offender of a minor. And she had a daughter, and she let this guy in her home. And they had working shifts, and he would come, as if he lived there. He would stay the night, all kind of stuff. She even had a baby with him. That's very selfish. I can see if you're a single mother. I'm sorry, if you just by yourself, you don't have any children, cool. Even still then, what about the people around you? What about your neighbors? What about the children that live around you? You don't care? That's weird. Even the apartment manager said that they knew he had that past. And he failed to register as a sex offender. How he got away with that, I'm not sure. But when I was on the registry today, I did see one, I want to say maybe two. And I didn't look at everybody on there, but I'm just saying where I was looking. I saw at least two where they said that they had an unknown address. But they also posted where they last worked. But my thing is, if you don't have your current address, you're supposed to, or you're going to jail. That's just the way that works. Because the public has a right to know who's around. And I'm moving over here, I'm working over here. Is there a sex offender over here? How many of them? What were they convicted of? Is there a child, offender over them here? And they need to keep up with you. It's too many slipping through the cracks. People get away with a lot these days. And y'all know this. They get away with a lot. People go to commit full-blown murder, and they get slapped on the wrist a lot of the time. They a lot of the time. Look at Sherry Wright, Lorenzen's old lady. Lorenzen Wright, the pro ball player. The horrific way that she plotted this man's demise. Even took hand in pulling the trigger herself. She had 7 children with him. One of them died. 6 children with this man. And she killed him so she can get his life insurance policy because she was a money hungry heifer that didn't want to work. They were divorced. He was even talking about going back to her because he felt like the dating life wasn't even hitting. Pro ball player. You couldn't be okay with the alimony and child support payments you was getting? You gotta be a slow, special-minded dummy to think that it's worth it. He made a trip to Atlanta, and she sent her fools. She was very seductive with these men, and she sent these 2 guys to come in and kill him, and somehow that didn't work out because they just flunkies anyway. And then when he came back, her and I'm just gonna assume we think it was more than one guy, right? But they convicted just one guy. It's funny how her cousin, who fully knew about the plot before, admitted he knew about the plot before it happened, was the one who led the police to Lorenzen Wright's body. But they didn't try him or convict him at all of this crime. But he ended up in prison after this for killing his own girlfriend. How the hell he didn't help her kill Lorenzen Wright? He led him to the gun and where the body was. He described what happened in detail. But he said it was Shara and the other guy who got convicted of pulling the trigger, who recently, today they did a live stream where he's speaking from prison and he's trying to say, I didn't do it. I guess he trying. Who he say did it? I don't even know because it's too late for that. But the cousin of hers that was testifying in court, he said everything in detail. Oh, and he turned his back, and then they came and they shot, and they was chasing after him, and he was jumping over the fence like a deer. Even the Larissa Wright's mom was like, "That's not somebody telling you what happened. That's something you've seen with your own eyes," and she's correct. She's correct. You don't describe somebody jumping over the fences like a deer. And now he's a basketball player, right? Unless you saw them jumping over the fences like a deer. They didn't tell him that. They just said he was fucking hard to catch and they was chasing after his ass. And they let that dude go because they wanted, the case was already, it happened like in 2008. They didn't convict these people of Larissa Wright's murder until, what, 3 years ago? Sherry wrote a book claiming she was a battered wife. She did an interview, which was horrible. She gets with the guy, the sports illustrator, the author, the, what do you call him, the journalist. They get in a relationship because he thought she was a grieving wife. He's in a relationship with her. He ends up leaving her and writing a book himself. And he just recently did going on his little interview spring or whatever. And he said, that's not no grieving wife. That's a money hungry bitch. And she definitely, he said when he told her that, oh, good news, they found a gun, she was acting weird. Then he was saying she was spending money on shit that they didn't need. That woman got $1 million life insurance policy on Lorenzen Wright, and he had just set that up not too long before he died. A few months, I think, for his children. She got the policy when he died. She blew through it in no time. She bought a house, 2, I think, and they got foreclosed on. Duh. She bought trips and just spent it on lavish stuff. And that is a policy she got for killing her own ex-husband at the time and father of her 6 children. She didn't want to go to trial. Now, this was genius. I'm not even gonna lie, this was genius. She didn't want to go to trial because she didn't want people to hear her dirty deeds, right? Even though we already know, it's already out, right? We know a lot, and it ain't good, even though it wasn't able to like necessarily come out in a trial because she didn't have a trial. Billy Ray was tried. They were investigated so much, and it came out. She's horrible. So this is what she did. Billy Ray didn't do this, but now he's speaking. Now he's saying, I wanted a pill, I didn't do it. Bro, you went to trial and they found you guilty of the crime. He's saying, oh, well, they just wanted to pin it on me. And y'all should have been saying that when you were on trial, and you should have been proving who did it. Because you know what Sharon did? Or Sherry, whatever her name is. She signed a plea deal. She signed a plea deal, and it sucked. Being that it's her fault Lorenzen is dead. She wanted him dead. Okay? She went to these guys and was like, she wanted him dead. She plotted it. And she also helped pull the trigger. She lied, told her she's going to give us some of the money. She didn't get him money. When the guy, Billy Ray, he thought he was going to be with her. She ended up marrying twice after that and being with the journalist guy. I mean, $30 years with the possibility of parole after 8 years. That ain't nothing. 8 years? 8 years? 8 years? Are you freaking kidding me? 8 years. And here it is, year 3 or 4 that she's been in prison, and this woman had a parole hearing last year. The main thing people say about her throughout this whole situation is that she manipulative. I'm sorry, you're doing 30 years with 8 mandatory. How did you in 3 years get the parole board to allow you to have a parole hearing? How? And then she had she had her children there, well, a couple of them, and they were trying to help her get released. What? And the son even was lying. And she looks bad. She was the one who had, she was light skinned. She had the looks, and she used her looks to her advantage when she was younger. But doing something so horrible like this, look up Sherry Wright, Lorenzen White's wife. Look her ass up. Look at her, how she looked then when she was with Lorenzen. Look at how she looked when she divorced Lorenzen. Look at how she looked when she killed the dude. And look at her ass now. I mean, prison and not having access to money and all that fake shit, that'll change you, yeah. But, you know, when life just want to beat your ass up, because you really not getting it how you need to be getting it. She done had a stroke, mouth all crooked, she swole, look like she about to explode. She looked like a cross between a butcher and a butchered person. And she's trying to get out of jail. And then in her hearing, y'all gotta watch that hearing, but you gotta know about the trial. I want to do a story on this one, but I want to find the guy who she was with. I want to find his book. I haven't been able to find the name of his book in his book itself, but I know he got a lot to tell. The children are mad at him because he left his mom. They were calling and threatening him and all that kind of stuff, and he just eventually decided, okay, since y'all want to fuck with me, I mean, like, hey, I gotta listen. Y'all trying to make me seem out to be a bad person, because I don't want to be your stepdaddy no more. Hell no. I'm not staying with no woman who killed y'all daddy. For what? So she can kill me? So she can drain me dry? So he tried to tell her about reasonable things they need to be doing as far as finances. They were living together. I think they were engaged. And she'd be like, no, I want this. I want that. Spending extra money on stuff that... What happened? When Grown Folks TV did the splits for you. Oh my God, that is so old. And she'll play the shit out of that. Twerking and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that dude was wild. This is a good time to bring that shit up, because this dude on here, he had these followers and all this other kind of stuff. And it's a long story about things that was going on, y'all. And a lot of stuff that I wasn't saying at the time, because I don't even get down like that. But this dude wanted to try to paint a bad picture on me, and he wanted to try to put me in a certain light just in case, and even out of fear of me blowing his spot up with the shit that he was trying to do out here with these women. And I wasn't falling for it. I wasn't dealing with him. None of that stuff. And I was questioning his motives and everything behind the scenes or whatever. So this guy comes on here, old ass nigga. He come on YouTube and he tell everybody that, oh, y'all think Aakasha, y'all think she Miss Goody Two Shoes, y'all think she, okay, well, she sent me nudes. Motherfucker, what? She sent me nudes. Not only did he say I sent him nudes, this nigga went on and on and on and on and on with a long ass story with lies, fake, lying about text messages that he couldn't prove because he act like he reading. I mean, he made the shit seem real believable, but he went a little overboard. Okay, he went a little overboard. He was acting too much. He was acting too much. He was all dramatic and everything, and then he was trying to illustrate how he said I was in the pictures. And he was on his bed. And he was doing a lot of weird shit. And he was putting his ass up in the air. And he was like, what was the other thing he was doing, y'all? He was acting like he was fingering himself. He was, he put his butt up in the air, all that kind of stuff. And he was trying to say that that's how the poses I sent him. First of all, somebody I don't know online. We're not married to anything. And I'm supposed to send you not only pictures of me. He said I was nude now. Pictures of me. They're going to be that sexually explicit. Sounds like a dummy and a flunky move. And I'm too old to become one now. And I couldn't stand this dude from the beginning. Because, I mean, to me, I could just see him coming a mile away. But all these other chicks was like, oh, he's fine, old man. He's sexy. Oh, he bold. He bad. I read his ass from the very beginning. And he didn't like that shit. Because he tried so hard to get me to come over there and rock with him on his channel. He wanted me to team up with him and all that bullshit. So he's on camera and he's telling his lies and he's saying, yeah, oh yeah, Aakasha. He said, I wanted him. Ooh, he said, I wanted him. It didn't work. Not only did it not work, and I didn't even have to, even though I did do a short video, just basically, he did it after I did a video telling him, and I was calling him Grandpa. That's what really pissed him off too. I was telling him Grandpa, and I was telling him to leave me alone because he was fucking with me hard. He was fucking with me hard. And he was coming on my channel, donating money, doing all that kind of shit, and he was fucking me hard behind the scenes. And he was doing some other fucked up shit to some other chicks because there were chicks that were sending him nudes. But he would go and he would bust them out. Now, when he said he had nudes of me, I told him, post it. Send it out. Pass them around. Even do it anonymously. I double dog dare you. And I give you permission to. You're going to have to prove it. You're going to have to prove it, sir. You're going to have to prove it. You know what he did? Probably not even a week later. Came on live. Pulled up an email of another chick. And showed her pictures. So you don't got no problem exposing these chicks left and right. But, you know, I'm the big one you supposed to be busting, right? Because they never would believe Aakasha would do something like that, right? Where your pictures at, son? You could have, it's plenty of people that wouldn't mind putting them out there. And people know how to do the little fake pages or whatever. I don't give a fuck. You could have slipped it off and handed it to anybody. Matter of fact, you got people around here that would have paid you for them. If not for anything, just to be able to prove that I did some shit like that. No pictures. But what he did get, for how long? He got his ass clowned by everybody. On the regular. The memes and the videos on him was ridiculous. You gotta be careful with the shit you be trying to do out here. And now everybody see exactly what that damn thing is. And that's why I didn't want to have nothing to do with him in the first place, because I see him coming a mile away. I knew he was trouble and I knew he was trash. He's an old man who perpetrates a fraud. He got exposed. He beefs with pretty much everybody. They done exposed his ass. They done got into all kind of legal troubles back and forth and just a bunch of mess. But, you know, again, this goes back to, y'all gotta be careful because people be out here perpetrating frauds. How could y'all even want to, like, big up and look up to and jump all over and make them all popular and be like, ooh, yeah, over somebody who gets on here and his whole appearance was coming on Nature Boy's live. Nature Boy. 3 God. Nature Boy. and telling him he's gonna give him $50,000 for some land. Then turn around, never gives him anything, of course, but he turned around and then he started saying, "Oh, he want to take Nature Boy down." But y'all see what that was all about. But that shit was funny, man. I should pull. They ain't gonna pull on the old shit. But the memes and the way, especially Suge, cause him and Suge ended up getting into it too. But the way him and Suge, like, the way Suge had his ass and put him in them videos and them memes and just remixed that shit and just kept playing it over and over for months and months on end. Crazy. I go through that too. Older males with that old jazz motors. I ain't gonna lie, I like older guys. I always have. And I'm pretty sure I always will. But, certain types. Very picky, very funny. And, I mean, in the right setting, you can meet your type. But you still gotta be careful. I mean, every once in a while I come across one or two that, you know, they could draw my interest, so to speak. But again, you gotta be careful. You gotta vet people because people have, they be perpetrating frauds. They be, misrepresenting themselves purposefully, and they don't be like that. There's something about them that just don't jive. I'm She wrote a book of BS and her fling took it. Well, this is what happened. How she wrote a book when she did that one, because she only did one interview, I think, back before, because I think she said everybody was trying to accuse her. She wanted to speak or whatever, but she was trying to say it wasn't too much she could say. And then she was saying there was no drugs. Did she say, or did she say there was drugs? I'm trying to remember. In her first interview, and we're talking about Cher Wright, Lorenzen Wright's wife. I think she said there was no drugs, absolutely no drugs. I don't know where they got that from. And she, when the interviewer asked her, he said, "Did you murder Lorenzen Wright? Did you have anything to do with his murder, or did you murder him?" And she said, "I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I'm an author. And if people want to know what happened to Lorenzen, then people need to do their job. Let them do what they gotta do. Because people need to know." Did she correct herself? We all need to know what happened to Lorenzen. And he was quiet, because I know he was saying, we couldn't see his face, but I know he was sitting there like, what kind of answer is that? She said it again in closing. "I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I'm an author." What? Ain't no way in hell she didn't do it. And then you see what she did with the money, and she moved right on out the house. Just a sad ass story. Then she had the children turn against the grandma because his mom was trying to get his murder solved. She was trying to get have them find out who did it, because they wasn't coming up with no answers or anything. And the children was just believing the mom for whatever reason. They know, because that's their mama, and their father is dead, and all they have left is that one parent. It's just really, really sad. But the update, when they had Billy do his testimony today, where he came live and he was like, "Oh, I want to speak. I know who did it, and I want to appeal and all that. And I need to get out of jail." The grandma, Lorenzen's mom, they show her she's patched up with the grandchildren. She has a relationship with them now, and they now understand what their mama really did. That she really did kill their dad, and that's just devastating. It's not easy for them to accept it, even when they know it. They're gonna do whatever to tell themselves, "No way, my mom killed, my dad." So I understand. I understand. But if you watch, y'all go back and watch that doggone parole hearing she had, the bitch was lying. First of all, she never said to his mother and his family, I'm sorry. First of all, you are convicted for 30 years for this man being dead. Okay, that means you are legally held responsible for his death. At least apologize, especially if you call yourself sitting up here trying to get the parole board to let you out. This is how you know she a dangerous piece of crap and she ain't gonna do no good in society. She had a whole bunch of people behind her, including, two of her children. Then she said two more was supposed to come, but they went to the wrong facility or whatever. We don't know. But she had a lady from a halfway house or whatever that was there and vouched for her and said she can come live with her to transition, because they want to make it look good, right? Like, no, we're not gonna just put her out there, we're gonna put her in this house and we're gonna give her a right start. She had a dude that married her after she was convicted of killing her husband. He married her. She's like, got a husband waiting on me. Like, what the hell is going on with this chick? She sat up there, didn't apologize to the family, and did not admit guilt. She's still saying she didn't have nothing to do with his murder. Then she lied on Lorenzen, made it all his fault why he dead. And she literally said it was his fault that he's dead. She said that in her parole hearing. She did. She said he was dealing drugs. No, she said him and her was dealing drugs for a long time. Now, I'm going to tell you what she said at her trial. At her trial, she said that her and Billy Ray had an affair. And she said Billy Ray killed him because he wanted his life. He wanted his wife. He wanted his house. He wanted his wife. And he thought they was going to be together after that. And the dude say he didn't have an affair, but I believe he was getting that. You know what I mean? He was in a church or something, and he worked for them, and he did like maintenance work around the house, and Lorenzen paid him for doing it and all that kind of stuff. And then you end up helping her with the murder. You know good and well she was seducing him, because she was seducing a couple of men at a time. So she told in her trial that he did it out of jealousy and all that kind of stuff. And then also, I think, no, she didn't say that about the abuse part I'm talking about. When she had her parole hearing, she came on there and she said he was beating her. And it sounded like she was trying to use that as a defense mechanism for why she had him killed. Even though she pulled the trigger. And it said that she took the kill shot. She made the kill shot. But she said he was abusive. He was abusing her. He was abusing her physically, mentally, emotionally. He was abusing her. I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm going to tell you, I don't believe that. Because this was a spoiled I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because I wasn't there. No, it happens. It happens. You could be a spoiled wife, living that good life, and people think you got it going on, and you be getting your ass tore up. That's a fact. Whew, my bad. I almost committed a sin right there. But that's what she tried to say. I'm just saying I don't believe it because from what I know of the case, from what I saw of the situation, it don't seem like that's what took place. It seemed like she was a more aggressive and controlling, and narcissistic type one. And he was the one who had like kind heart. He was taking care of his family, not just his own family with 6 children. He took care of his family, and he just did so much for the town. Like, he cheated. I mean, he cheated a lot. He cheated. And that is abuse. In my opinion, that's abuse. I know guys don't consider that as abuse, and they think you got it going on at home. You get anything you want. You just all that if they cheat, that's just what they do. So you're supposed to deal with it. Women are emotional. Women ain't good at sharing. It affects a woman in such a way that is traumatizing and devastating, and you know that, and she doesn't expect you to cheat, and y'all had an agreement not to cheat when you entered into your relationship, much less your marriage. So it's abuse. It's fucking abuse to sit up there and hurt her like that over and over again. It's abuse, and then expect her to like somehow be okay and touch you again, nigga, please. So I do consider that abuse, so I'm not gonna say she wasn't abused. I'm just saying it wasn't necessarily in the manner that she wanted to. This woman didn't want him doing what he was doing his money. She didn't want him giving money to anybody in town or to children or whatever. She did not want him taking care of his family. She didn't want him doing none of this shit. She wanted everything to herself. She was not reasonable or rational. She didn't have any financial accountability. She pretty much single-handedly put them in to where they bankrupt, basically, all by herself. All by herself. And this dude was gonna move back in with this woman. This woman sat in that parole hearing and she made all about her, and she still talked about money. Okay, mind you, the dude that was with her that did the book, I gotta find that book. I can't wait to see what's in that book. His interview alone lets you know that that book is gonna be good. He had to leave her because he saw she was money hungry. He had to leave her because he saw that all she cared about was having nice things and having a lot of money, and she ain't bring in a penny. And she didn't want to listen to a man. She wasn't rational at all. Even in her parole hearing, she was talking about money. She told the judge when she was pleading her cases of why she should get out of court. She was like, my daughter is going to school to be, I don't know, a doctor or something like that. But she had two that were athletes because their dad was in the NFL. And my son just got a scholarship. And my other son, he just signed a some dollar contract. She's trying to get out so she can live a good life all over again. And it's sad. It's sad because this man done had 6 children, and then you can hear the children talking. He loves his children, and even the boy said that his dad, even whenever his dad and his mom would get into fights, and his dad would have to leave or choose to leave or whatever, he will always make sure he come talk to them first and reassure them that he's gonna be there, he's gonna come back, and everything like that. Now his children following in his footsteps and becoming, doing real good in athletics and stuff like that. He not even here for none of that. He not even here for none of that. Their last child was a little girl. She lost SIDS. It was sudden infant death. And he was devastated by that. He had a tattoo of the baby on his arm and everything. She killed that man. And she sat in her parole hearing and she acted like, bro, I ain't had nothing to do with that. Okay, she said she didn't have nothing to do with his death. But at the same time, she did admit she had something to do with his death because she was sitting up there talking about how he was physically abusive to her and how it was his fault because he had a pile of drugs. They went from a pile of drugs to a box of money that he took out the house that night. Then she said he had people come looking for her, looking for him, looking for Lorenzen. And even had the son to lie and say that a man came to his school looking for Lorenzen, asking him. And it wasn't even him. It was the oldest one. That back then, it was said that a man came to the school looking for the dad. Now, if you're looking for this man's father, who is a basketball pro, why you gonna go to the kid's school and ask him, hey, where your dad at? This is what the little boy said because he want to help his mom. A man came up in a black car. He came up to, I think he said an SUV, came up to my school and asked me. He rolled down the window and he said, hey, where your dad at? And I said, I don't know. And then he just rolled off. Your dad is a pro, which means he never really home. He got a schedule like crazy. So they gonna pull up at your school, you in elementary school, and you gonna know where he at, and you gonna tell them where your daddy at. If anything, you gonna at least try to ask the wife. She might know, don't nobody else know, but nobody is gonna just know where this man is at. So I don't buy that. I think it was a lie. I think it was what she told them to say. And then when the other ones couldn't make it, because they said they had two, that they kept stressing the fact that 2 other children were supposed to come. She said it, and the other son, and that's where they messed up at. The son that came and sat beside her and read, he had 2 letters. He said, well, I'm thinking about it now, y'all. It's coming to me. Oh, listen. Go back and watch that video where she was trying to get parole. Listen. She had her son there. Lorenzen Jr., which is the oldest one, he didn't show up, and then there was another boy, he didn't show up. When her son, who was there, came and sat beside her, he said, my other 2 brothers couldn't make it. Now, the mama already said, she said, I had 2 other boys that were supposed to come here on my behalf, and they couldn't make it. They got mixed up early this morning, and they went to the wrong place. And the judge was sitting there like, okay, Ann, what you telling me for? Who's here is all I need to know. They sign in, and then they get a chance to speak for like 2 minutes. Who ain't here, it don't matter because they not here. So what you telling me for? It's not going to count for you. And it's not going to count that you claim that they were on their way here. That's not going to help. But when the son came and sat beside her, he said, my brothers, he was going out his way using his time to explain why the boys weren't there. He said, yeah, my brothers are supposed to be here, but they got mixed up. He was trying to like make, like, he was convincing the judge. He was like, oh yeah, they went to a different facility and somebody told him that. He was like trying to tell this whole story. And it's like, that's weird. But then he said he had letters from them. He said he had letters from them he was going to read. And then he said he had a letter that he wrote. But when he started reading, he kept saying over and over again when he tried to read, my handwriting ain't too good. He said that like 4 or 5 times. My handwriting ain't too good. He couldn't read that from it. Then he said, I wrote this in a rush on the way over here. Hold up. This wasn't no emergency meeting. So you been new, especially you knew in time enough to get your butt down there. Because he was in a whole different state. To your mother's meeting. For her parole hearing. And you're going to tell me you scrabbled your speech, your powerful speech that's supposed to say, let my mama out of jail. On the way there, so bad that way you can't read it, and you got 2 letters from your brother and sister which you never read. He said, I'm just going to put these to the side because he just couldn't get them. But then he was trying to act like, to make it seem like it was coming out of his heart. So he ad-libbing. And so he calling himself speaking for the brother and the sister and himself. And then he tells the story. He said, my mom, she's a good person, blah, blah, blah. Then he tried to say, I was there in the house. I remember times with my dad, he was trying to go with her story and paint his dad in a bad light, but someone let him do it. It just kept stopping him every time. So he told a story about how the dad, when they fought, he would leave, he would come tell him he's coming back and stuff like that. He had to say something good about his dad. He was trying to make it sound like he was abusive or whatever. So he couldn't do that. He kept stumbling on that. So then he said, I remember when I was at school, and the guy came in an SUV and he asked me where my dad was at, and I said, I don't know. And he pulled off. First of all, they messed up right there. That wasn't his story. That was told to the police by the older son. Now, I'm not going to say it came directly from him. I'm saying that's the story that was told to the police on his behalf from his mom. That they came to the school. She claimed they came to the school and came to the house, and they was looking for Lorenzen because he had drugs that he was supposed to be taking. And the son that was at the parole hearing said his dad left out with a box full of money that night. First of all, you a little ass kid. How you know what your dad had when he left? And why would he show you a box full of money that he taken out the house? That don't make any sense. His mama told him to say that shit. But back then, she was saying there was no drugs and there was no money. Now, all of a sudden, her and Lorenzen was drug kingpins. She said it. They was doing a big drug business. And they ended up owing money. First of all, if you doing big drug business, how you owe a lot of money? You already know, don't do that. As a grown-ass man who had an NFL contract, an NBA contract, he know not to put his family in jeopardy like that. So Did you blow the money, misspend everything? That man wasn't selling no drugs and wasn't no drug dealers looking for him. Not at all. She killed that man. She still doesn't want to admit it. And I'm gonna tell y'all where the genius comes in at. First of all, not only did she get away with this crime for so many years, they couldn't solve it. I'm gonna tell you how she got caught. The cousin of hers killed his girlfriend. No, his wife. He killed his wife. And he wanted less time for it. So he said, I know what happened to Lorenzen Ray. So he negotiated that deal. Even though we truly believe that he helped kill him. And this is how he know all this. And he admitted that he knew that they plot, he was listening to the plot. So when you was listening to a nigga because you was there, nobody is going to let nobody else listen to them plot a murder. From the first time, when Reza took a trip here to Atlanta and they tried to kill him, that didn't work. And then like the next year they killed him. He knew about all of that. Nobody's letting you listen to it unless you in on it. But he said, I know what happened to Lorenzo, right? He took him right to the gun. Showed him what happened. Showed him where it happened at, where in the field where he was at. Told the whole story. But he didn't get convicted of being the shooters. Now, not only is she trying to get paroled early, Billy Ray coming out and he talking about, I didn't do it, let me out. I wanted an appeal. The cousin is saying he want to be let out. First of all, you killed your wife. Then you turn around and got less time because you told where the gun was at for Lorenzen. But he said the wife was about to answer the door and he was coming to the door at the same time. And he accidentally shot her while she was trying to answer the door. Her family said that's not true because he was abusive. And she was going to leave him, and he told her if he left her, he was going to kill her. So now he wants a retrial, or I don't know what he's calling for, but he wants to get out of jail. That's literally what he's saying. And he said, it was an accident, man. I want to get out. So he think because he told what happened to Lorenzo, this is how bold people are. He think he going to get out of jail for killing his wife. And they did not try him. This case is so ridiculous, it doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't. This woman is so smart. She got away with this for years. Years. Blew through all that money. She don't got nothing set up. Nothing. If she get out, she gonna have to rely on her children. And whatever dude she with, because right now she got a husband waiting on her. You got 30 years and she got married. How you pull that off? When you got a man that you killed, you in jail for that, and then you got two that you was with after that left your ass because they knew you killed that nigga. And somebody else still married her ass. That shit is crazy. So not only did she get away with that for years, she had all these dudes with her, even though she killed the dude. This woman did not go to trial. That was a chess move. She didn't go to trial. I'm going to tell you how it was a chess move. There's a lot of evidence and a lot of facts that came out because Billy Ray went to trial. And she orchestrated it. And of course, she pulled the trigger. But because she orchestrated it, her dirt got thrown in there too. And that's how we learned about a lot of it. But they did not have a chance to take her to trial and legally pin that dirt to her and legally find her guilty of everything that she did. Okay, they only have the facts in the case, but the facts are not attached to a guilty verdict. Do you understand how powerful that is? She can get out. She's just trying too early, and she's not good at it. She's not ready. Of all the things, this girl ego is so big. If I'm telling you, if Sherry Wright would have got into her parole hearing and she would have, I'm so sorry. I want to apologize to his mom. I want to apologize to his family, and I'm so sorry. And I know I took my children's father away from them, and they're never gonna see him again. And I'm gonna have to live with that for the rest of my life. If she would have played that role, they would have let her out. They would have let her out. If she would have played that role, and she would have said, you know, what I did was wrong, and I've been rehabbed, and I'll never do it again, and all this stuff. This bitch came up here, and yes, I'm calling her a bitch. This bitch came up here with an attitude like, fuck that shit. First of all, I ain't had nothing to do with that. That's what she said. I ain't had nothing to do with that. She didn't acknowledge his family. She didn't apologize. Either way, he dead, and you in jail for it for 30 years. And another guy did it. Whether you say he did it on your behalf or not, he did it based off of you. You could at least apologize to the family. Anybody with a right mind, knowing they want to get out of jail, you know you got to show remorse. She didn't have no remorse. What she said, I went to school while I'm in here, and I got this degree and this degree. And I graduated, what she said, cum laude. Yes, she did. She said she got the highest grade that woman ever had in her class. In prison. She just kept bragging about all this shit. What else you gonna do in prison? Especially when you know you want to get out early. What else you gonna do? You're gonna do great things. You're gonna go to school. You're gonna get degrees. You're gonna do all this stuff. And then she said she can't work because they asked her, they was like, why you not working? And then she got children and she got fees and stuff she gotta pay back. Why you not working? I can't work because I'm in school during the day for this, and then I'm in school for this during these hours. She's showing them who she is. She's showing them who she been the whole time. She's showing them why she fucked her life up in her life with these men. It was all about her. It was all about her. And of course, when he asked her why she should get out, she was saying, because I got all these, you know, I done went to school, I done got all these degrees. And she said before, when I was with Lorenzen, and even after Lorenzen, I didn't have a career. I didn't have a financial means to take care of myself and provide for my children. I do now. Your children good now. It's been years. They big. They grown. They got it. Like, what the hell? It was all about her. But she told a lie. She told a complete lie. She said they were drug dealers. She said he had drugs that he was supposed to carry and stuff like that. But before, when they were trying the case, she said wasn't no such thing about no money or no drugs. There's nothing with a guilty verdict attached to it that ties the facts to her. So she can say whatever she wants, and they can only try and contest it. But they cannot say, you've been found guilty of this. She only pled guilty, but she has not been tried on all facts. She just pled guilty to, like, conspiracy or aiding or whatever in his murder. So when she said all them lies, and everything she said was a lie, and the mama stood up, the mama was like, no, she need to suffer, she need to do her time. See, the mama's smart, because she been doing this for a long time. You know, she want to make sure whoever needs to pay for her son, they're going to pay for her son death. So she know if she get up there and say, this girl lying, that's not even going to do it. She said, no, she signed a plea deal. She agreed, 30 years. I got to do life. I can't get my son back. She need to do her time too. She need to be without too. And she kept it sweet and simple. And the lead detective was there, and the DA was there. That's how fucking serious it is. They don't. And they sat there, and they was like, this woman is very bad. Don't let her out. She's manipulative as hell. She is conniving as hell, and she's evil, cold-hearted as hell. She did all this shit. She orchestrated this. She pulled the fucking trigger. She set this up. She did this and that. She told this lie. She told this story, but this is what actually happened. And it's the opposite of what she's saying right now. And they couldn't admit, like, it couldn't be admissible as their testimony as to why she shouldn't get out, because technically she has not been tried and found guilty on these things. And the judge had to correct him. He said, I have the folder. I have all the facts of the case that you're looking at. And he's able to see that. And I think the parole members, they're able to see it too. But at the same time, whatever she's saying right now, she's allowed to say it because those are facts of the case. But they didn't find her guilty of it. She has never been found guilty of his murder in a trial. And that is a big deal. That is a big deal. She is always, for the rest of her life, going to be able to walk around and say that. No matter what nobody else say, they didn't find me guilty of killing him in a trial. I took a plea deal. She is going to be able to put doubt in people's minds who didn't look up the case, didn't even watch like stories put together of the case, when there's plenty of good ones out here, even on YouTube, that pretty much gives enough of the case to let you know that she absolutely did this. She has the ability to convince people that she's not responsible. Whatever story she want to tell, she can tell. And that is crazy. That's why I say I think that they were, because it was high profile and the town loved them and everything. I think they were in too much of, you know, I want a rush to get a conviction, and they dropped the ball when they let that cousin go, because it's clear to us now that he had something to do with it. If it wasn't clear before, it's definitely clear now. And they should have tried her and not offered her a plea deal. I get why they offered her a plea deal, but they didn't need to. They could have got her. The facts alone was more than enough to prove that she actually had something to do, and she was there, and she helped kill him. She lured, she lured him to the field herself with text messages of them getting in the field and getting it on and getting freaky, having sex or whatever. And that is a fact, and it's in the files and it's in the case. But they did not try her. Do y'all not understand? Sharon Wright got 1 more year. No, she has to serve 8 mandatory, and she almost did 4. So she got to do like 3-4 more years. But even somebody else who was a professional in the case, I can't remember who it is, they were even saying that if she's able to get another early parole hearing, and she play her cards right, she act right, she talk right when she get in there, it's possible she's gonna get out. It's possible. And it's crazy to sit here and think that after all these years, and his mom finally got a conviction after this woman being responsible, literally going out her way to make sure that this man is dead, that she is gonna probably get out in less than 8 years. When she got finished and the DA and the lead investigator spoke, and they had to start, curving around their words to say that, yeah, she signed a plea deal and everything, and yeah, we understand, that she wasn't tried on these things, but they're in the files. They were found to be facts throughout our investigation. So she literally did this shit. So she literally sitting over there lying. She has not taken accountability. She's still sitting over there saying she ain't had nothing to do with it. And we know for a fact that she did it. She lured the dude over there with text messages saying that they was gonna have sex. You can hear him on the phone when he called 911. And right before they shot him. Just all the stuff that she did. They was just, saying some of that. And the judge, when he spoke, he was disgusted. He was disgusted because of what she said and how she acted. But I'm telling you, if Sharon Wright would have came on there and she would have been like, I'm so sorry to the family, and I know I cannot bring your son back, and I know I took my kid's father away from them and all that kind of stuff, and she was saying, yeah, I was a horrible person, because she was trying to say now, oh, I'm changed, and I've been working on myself, and I've been bettering myself, and it was all about money, though. She was like, I got these degrees, and my children, who she not raising because she in prison, hello, but my children are going to be a doctor, and they're going to be a NFL, NBA star, and they got scholarships, and they got a contract and all this kind of stuff, and they're going to be making X amount of money. And like, she's saying those are the reasons why she should get out of fucking jail. Like, get the fuck. That woman was on one. She was on one. For real. She had people backing her and everything. And the judge was like, I don't even know. Basically, when after all that was said and done, he said, I don't even understand how you even got a parole hearing this early. Like, you're not even due for a parole hearing until you serve at least 4 years of 8 years. That's sickening. And he was like, nah, I'm not gonna let you out, because he was like, basically, you you ain't served enough time. She ain't ready. She ain't ready. But let her come back in a year, and let her play her cards right, and watch them let her out of jail. And that's gonna be terrible. And that is a problem with the system. That is a problem for some reason. And it could do to them wanting there to be less people in this world anyway. But for some reason, people can commit violent acts that are murder or some kind of assault, to where it's clear that they're going to harm again, they're going to do worse, or they're going to kill that person. There are so many cases where these people went to jail time and time again for assaulting and harassing. Just like the dude who just over in Clayton County recently killed his girlfriend. Young, 19, they like 19 or something. And he kidnapped her and he killed her. But he had just got out of jail because he kidnapped her and tried to kill her. And she jumped out of the car. I think he stabbed her or shot her at that time. And they let him back out. And he came right for her. And this has happened time and time again. Even around in Georgia. But it's happening a lot. I don't know what the fuck is going on with these soft niggas these days. But they're killing bitches. And we outnumber y'all. Chicks do it too, but I guarantee you the guys are doing it more. And they're doing it a lot. A lot. Y'all better start paying attention and start getting with these little flaky ass, unstable ass, emotional ass, insecure ass, jealous of you ass niggas. Stop it. Because when you try to let their ass go, they killing you. They killing the kids, even their own kids. They don't care. They don't care. This is a fact. Most guys, once they not with the woman no more, they don't really care about them kids. It doesn't matter that they're theirs. A guy will so easily go and start another family because that's just something with his twisted ass ego. He wanna be with the mom. He wanna be in the house. I don't know, but a lot of them dudes, if they not with you, they don't care. I can tell you in the past month, I done went through over 20 cases, okay, where these dudes killed the woman and the baby, their own child, from in the womb to a little baby to 3-4 years old or whatever. Let's take him right on out the map because he can't have his fucking way. What the hell is wrong with y'all asses? I mean, we know it's good, but I'm just saying. We outnumber y'all. What is up with it? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. But I think that's interesting. I'm going to leave on this because I got to go. I got groceries back in and everything. But I think it's very interesting that we outnumber you guys. Mm-hmm. And y'all don't have no problem cheating on women. Okay, cheating on, you know how much it hurts a woman when you cheat on her? You'll never know. Well, then again, do you? Huh? You just different, right? Huh? Do you? Because y'all can't handle it if your woman go be with somebody else, or even if you think she been with somebody else, you can't handle that shit. But you feel like you can do it all day because you attach sex differently than a woman does. We don't give a fuck. Y'all niggas don't have a problem serial cheating with the raggediest bitches in dangerous ways, right? You don't have a problem doing that, but then as soon as your woman want to get off and do her own shit, you want to kill her, and you gonna kill the baby? What's wrong with y'all? Then the fuck? What's wrong with y'all? Y'all some crazy asses. But y'all better be careful out here, alright? I'm out.